Kamal Farooqui wanted to respond, but I'm going to Prem Shankar Jha now. Question is, Mr. Jha, two criminal complaints. 1 minute, sir. Mr. Jha, my question is to Mr. Jha. Mr. Jha, two criminal complaints have been registered against the authors who read from the Satanic Verses. We take a position, the law is the law has to be followed, that's fine. But isn't it totally ironic that no action is taken against those who issue diktats virtually to the Indian state, but those who are brave enough to raise their voice in protest, albeit in a controversial manner, are hounded? Mr. Jha.
I think it's outrageous. I think it's absolutely outrageous. There are many examples of the police behaving like this. Time is too short to go into them. I feel that there is just cowardice and narrow-mindedness of the worst kind all around. Let us start by saying conceding one thing. Jaipur has been a rather troubled city. A lot of children were poisoned in a communal incident about a decade or more ago in that city. That is a city which saw a series of bombings only 2 or 3 years back, for which the wrong community was blamed, which made things even worse.
Yes.
Now, the point is, if in that situation, I find it hard to believe that the organizers of the festival did not realize that there would be a political, shall we say, motive of political something read into inviting Salman there,
No, but
he's been here. May I just finish? Give me one more minute.
Let him complete. Let him complete.
Yes, he was there exactly. Yeah, I'm coming to that. That brings it to that other question of propagation and advertisement, which I don't want to go into just now. Yes, if you had done that quietly, it would have been absolutely fine. The other thing is, on the other hand, look at the behavior of the government. I mean, whether it is when the BJP is in power or the Congress is in power, it makes no difference. It's not the Muslims and the Hindus are fanatics. They're about 0.1%.
Very right. That's so true.
Of people who organize themselves. And we bow to them every single time. Hindu fanatics burnt the Bhandarkar library in Pune. They destroyed Hussein's paintings. They banished the most noblest artist we've ever had and forced him to die abroad. And then Muslim fanatics are doing the same thing. They hounded Tasleem Ahmad Rahmani.
But who's taking on the fanatics, Mr. Jha?
Out of Calcutta. And everybody, every time the police just ducks and goes along with the fanatics and says, you people, you law-abiding people, you are crossing the line by one tiny bit.
That's so point very strongly made. That's a point very strongly made. And I am tempted right now to read from the quote that came in the Times of India today, which I find extremely relevant. It's a quote of Alfred Griswold where he says, books won't stay banned, books won't burn, ideas won't go to jail. In the long run of history, the censor and the inquisitor have always lost. The only weapon against bad ideas is better ideas. Mr. Tasleem Ahmad Rahmani, President of the Muslim Political Council of India, do you think all these people protesting Salman Rushdie have gone just a bit too far now? That you also need to play in controlling them to save our democracy?
I wonder one thing. Why these liberal people, the so-called liberal people, don't want to give the freedom of emotions to the others. There is no doubt about that. The people like Mr. Salman Rushdie has heard the sentiments and beliefs of the largest single religious community of the world. There is no doubt about that. Why anybody don't say that, okay, whatever expressions you have, you express them, but you don't.
Sir, there is a law.
And today,
sir, the book is already banned.
As you already mentioned that 11 times,
sir, there is a law.
Salman Rushdie has come to India and gone back. Now today, at this particular point of time, I'm sorry to say that the Congress party has tried to use Salman Rushdie as a star campaigner of the Congress party. And this is the whole,
why are you making it political?
And by that name, the community has been
why are you making it political?
For that purpose only. This is the only show.
It is despicable.
And for that show, the community has been labeled and all such kind of programs, the community has been shown as a vanity. We are using our Indian secular democratic rights to protest one thing.
So
what's wrong in that if we say that we are hurt by some...
No, 1 minute, Sohel, before you come in.
What's wrong in that?
Sohel, before you come in, Sohel, I want to make this point very clear. That here on Times Now and here on this show, and I am sure the majority, I am sure 99.99% of our viewers, maybe even 100% believe that the Muslim community is not an illiberal community. It is wrong
Absolutely.
to typify the Muslim community as an intolerant community. The Muslim community is fully aware that under Section 11 of the Indian Customs Act, the import of this book under a finance ministry order is already banned. Now that's the rule. That's the law. There is.
I want to tell you.
I'm not sure if you can say that the entire Muslim community would not want a video link or would not want Salman Rushdie. Would not want Salman Rushdie to talk about other issues. What?
To hell with Salman Rushdie. Mohammad Farooqui is not the Muslim that India has and India keeps with great affection and respect. He is paying the greatest disrespect to a community that has served India well and continues to serve India well. By labeling them as intolerant is the biggest abuse we as a nation can do. B. It is the Muslim community in this country that has given us virtuous culture, virtuous cuisine, has taught us the liberal arts. So for Mohammad Farooqui to say that, oh, you know, the liberals are saying this, Mr. Farooqui, read the writing on the wall. Your time is over. The time for hatred is over. The time for abuse is over. The time for coloring.
Mr. Suhel, you kindly read the writing on the wall. The time has been changing. And the people.
Okay, now, General Suhel, you've had your say. I must let Kamal Farooqui respond to you now.
Kamal Farooqui, no, 1 minute. And the supporter may not survive anymore.
Gentlemen, please allow me, because Suhel has referred quite a number of times.
1 minute. Kamal Farooqui, I want to tell you that a deliberate and straightforward, I request you, Suhel Seth, I know you're extremely charged up, but let's not make it a personal attack. I want to say at the same time that we all believe in the basic secular fabric of our country, and I'm sure each one of our panelists also does. And I think what we are debating today is the aftermath. The aftermath of using the Rushdie issue for electoral purposes. Kamal Farooqui has the right to respond.
Arnab, another chance for me, please.
I'm coming to you, Mr. Jha, right after Mr. Farooqi's response.
No.
Yes.
Now listen. Now, Mr. Jha, please listen to me. Please understand the present controversy. Darul Uloom Deoband had protested, and entire Muslim community has said that because of his writings, we protest whatever he has written to it. Matter ends here. Now, as far as the next part is concerned, giving him the threatening, giving him some kind of other things, the police should take action, and we absolutely condemn it. We absolutely not in favor of giving the life threat to anybody.
That's a good point.
But why the Muslims are being targeted for this? If at all Rajasthan government has played any role in it, if at all some other party has played any role, we don't want to politicize this. Mr. Arnab, you know it. I have been avoiding to come to television on this issue because we don't want to politicize it. It is my fundamental right to protest about a person who has abused my mother. I cannot tolerate it. I have to demonstrate. Please understand. This is my fundamental right. Whatever has happened in Jaipur, I have nothing to do with it. Muslim community has nothing to do with it.
Absolutely.
If at all any fanatic person,
that's what I
request the police authorities to take the stern action against them. But don't blame the community. Community has got all the right.
Absolutely.
We Muslims will not tolerate anybody abusing our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam or his wives or anybody.
But it is,
and this is not for us also. We have said the same thing for Gita. We will not allow Gita to be banned in any other country.
Today somebody writes.
Religious country. Please understand this.
1 minute. I first want to say this, that Mr. Farooqui and to you also, Dr. Tasleem, I think that point is something that everyone will cheer. This is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. It is not a religious issue.
Absolutely.
It is not an issue of religion alone.
We condemn the people who politicize these kind of things.
This is not a political issue. Exactly.
And try to tarnish our image like that.
That's a good point, Dr.
We absolutely condemn those people and those politicians and those governments.
For God's sake, let me speak. What's going on?
Prem Shankar Jha, please go ahead. I'm sorry, sir. I was just letting the other side complete.
No, I'm fed up. I mean, can they not stop talking, for God's sake?
Please go on, Mr. Jha.
We've heard them over and over again, and just getting angry doesn't help. Look, Arnab, I have to say one thing. I agree with the Darul Uloom. They have the right to protest. Absolutely the right to protest. I have, like all of us say, but I do have any number of friends and acquaintances who are Muslim. I work with them. I talk to them. I don't know of one who has not been somewhat offended by what Salman Rushdie wrote. And he, we've got full right to do so, because it was in bad taste. The fact was that Salman was a young writer. It was 25 years ago, and he wouldn't do today what he did then, and he has apologized. But the question is, protest is one thing, and it is fully and completely justifiable, and I share it. But to do anything, to actually physically attack or physically threaten, I think that is completely wrong.
Yes.
And it's not being done by the Muslim community. Please understand, there are fanatics there are madmen in all societies, and our madmen are putting on political robes. They are madmen. They ought to be treated as madmen. Hindu and Muslim.
I take that point. I think that point is well made, Mr. Jha, and I'm really sorry. You know, I have great respect for you. I'm sorry for coming to you late. I want to ask Mahesh Jethmalani. No, that's all right, sir. Sir, Mahesh Jethmalani. Today, I don't know if you've read in the Times of India editorial page, there is a piece by Ashok Malik, in which Ashok Malik says, take a hypothetical example. Say, you know, there is... In 2009, I don't know if you remember, there was a well-known American academic, Wendy Doniger, who wrote The Indus and Alternative History. Some Hindu groups found the book distasteful and accused it of eroticizing sacred scripture. Okay, there were calls for a ban, but thankfully nobody paid serious attention, Ashok Malik writes. Now, he says, consider a situation in the 2013 Jaipur Literary Festival, that Doniger is invited. Extremist Hindu groups start protesting. Somebody says, we will throw shoes at Doniger. Somebody says, if Doniger comes, we will pay 1 lakh rupees if a shoe hits its aim. And Ashok Gehlot panics. And then he says there's law and order concerns, and Doniger does not come. Now, you can't disregard the situation, Mr. Jethmalani. What's your take on it, given the backdrop of the sort of Hindu extremist group also in the past?
Arnab, you know, while you keep declaiming the fact that this is not a Hindu-Muslim issue, and you keep declaiming the fact that we shouldn't politicize it, you've done precisely that on this channel. I mean, you've called me as a BJP leader and read out a charge sheet to me about what the BJP and the Sangh Parivar has done in the past. And again, you are saying the same thing.
I've asked you.
Now, let me just tell you this.
Are you trying to avoid the question?
No,
are you trying to avoid the question?